New details were released today about the Ford government's latest reopening plans that begin on Monday. Theaters and stadiums will be permitted to sell food and drinks as long as customers remain seated while eating. And most businesses will no longer have to collect contact tracing information. Matt Ingram is following this story and joins us live with more. Matt?
Phil, the Chief Medical Officers of Health's message was this virus isn't going anywhere. So we need to remain vigilant, monitor our own health, and learn to live with Omicron. He believes the reopening plan is safe and cautious and balances the risk of the virus with the need for life to start getting back to normal. The sound of kernels popping at Playhouse Cinema is music to manager Jacob Tutt's ears.
We're pleased and grateful.
Today, the province announced theaters will be allowed to sell food and drink when they are permitted to reopen on Monday. That's fantastic news, according to Tutt, who says concession sales make up about 50% of revenues.
Being able to sell popcorn will mean we don't take a substantial financial hit when we reopen.
In the final 3 weeks before movie theaters were closed by the province earlier this month, food and drink sales were prohibited, and Tutt says that took a big bite out of business.
That was one of the toughest restrictions we had to endure apart from being in a complete lockdown.
Last week, when the Ford government announced its plan to begin reopening, it didn't say food and drink sales would be allowed. But new details about the plan released today say food and drink sales will be allowed at indoor sporting events, concert venues, gaming halls, racetracks, and of course, movie theaters.
The compromise was that you can eat or drink when seated, but not to enable you to walk around unmasked.
Cineplex released a statement welcoming the news, saying it provided data to the province showing food in cinemas is safe. Starting Monday, movie theaters, event spaces, and meeting rooms can all start operating at 50% capacity indoors. The same is going to go for restaurants, bars, retailers, museums, and religious services. Sporting and performance venues can have 50% capacity or 500 people, whichever is less. Most businesses will no longer have to collect individual contact tracing information. Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Kieran Moore, says that's because public health agencies are focusing on vulnerable locations like long-term care homes, since there's so much COVID already circulating in the community.
The amount of virus in the community is not such that individual case and contact management will have any benefit.
Despite saying there's still widespread circulation of the virus, Dr. Moore says reopening is the right move.
We have to understand with Omicron that we can't eliminate this threat, that in fact we have to learn to live with it.
Once reopening begins on Monday, you'll still have to show proof of vaccination everywhere you had to before, and all the usual COVID health guidelines, social distancing, and masking will still be required.